We're taking a look at homes listed per week, weekly inventory, homes sold per week, percent of pending homes, and then the average price per month in Massachusetts. So we're going to start off with homes listed per week in Massachusetts. This graph, you can go on the website marealestateupdates.com, and all this data will pull up for you. Actually, let me move myself. Let's do this. All right. So this is single families, condos, and multifamilies in Massachusetts. The number of homes listed per week. 2025 is this dark blue line right here. And you see 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, so on and so forth. Homes listed per week at this point in time is higher than 2024, 2023, the red line right here, and 2022. It's still below 2021, but isn't it funny how every single year this basically follows the same trajectory? I mean, it's incredibly consistent. President's Day does that. Easter dips. Mother's Day dips. Homes listed per week. Memorial Day dips. Father's Day, not a huge difference for Father's Day. Goes up actually a little bit prior to that. 4th of July, huge drop. Then you get the Labor Day, huge increase after Labor Day. And then the rest of the year just goes down and down and down the closer we get to the holidays. But we're at 2,200 homes listed. Excuse me. Last week or the week prior, which is week 38. All right, so that's homes listed per week. So we're higher than the last three. Excuse me. Jeez, what's in my throat? We're higher than the last 3 years. And then this is the inventory per week. So the number of single families, condos, and multifamilies on the market in Massachusetts. We're higher than the last 5 years at this point in time. We're almost at 12,000. Now, when the data gets released this week, when this is updated this week, I would not be surprised to see this over 12,000. And for the rest of this year, this dark blue line, 2025, is probably going to stay slightly above 2020 the rest of the way for active inventory, which is a great thing for buyers because we are much improved over this time last year. And obviously, and look at 2023. 2023 was just a crazy year in the real estate market. Buyers, there are more opportunities now than there have been the last 5 years. We're still not at pre-pandemic levels. We're still not really that close because look at 2019. At this point in 2019, there's, 18,000 homes for sale at this point in time. We're still not even close to that. Inventory is still below the normal average. All right, so that's inventory. Now we're going to do homes pending per week, I think. Homes pending per week. Let's actually look at homes sold per week. So this one, as you can see, is way down. It's actually the lowest in week 38, the lowest it's been in the last 6 years. So that tells me there is less buyer demand at this point in time than the last 6 years or last 5 years. So less buyer demand, but there's more homes on the market than there have been in the last 5-6 years. What's that tell you as a buyer or as a seller? As a buyer, that tells you there's more opportunities out there for you and there's less competition with other buyers. And as a seller, that tells you that you need to price your home correctly, or it could very well sit in the market because there's less buyers and there's more competition for you as a seller. So less demand. That has to do with the rates. That has to do with the prices being where they're priced at. It's a whole flurry of things. So homes sold per week is the lowest at this point in time since this graph, like since 2019. All right, percent of pending homes. And then let's do average price per month. Massachusetts, as you know, is quite pricey. In 2025, the prices actually increased compared to 2024. And just look at this huge difference. Like, look at the increase in price since 2019. This data is up until July because this lags behind a couple months. The average price. July, the average price in 2019 was, 515,000, 520,000-ish. Now we're at 790,000 in the span of 6 years. The average price, this tells you, so as you can see, typically the highest selling price is in June, July every year. 2020 is an outlier. That's just a weird year. That was like, you can't take the 2020 as a good example for what the market does. The reason why July and June typically have the highest average selling price is because those deals were negotiated in February, March, April, and May. In that time of year, spring is always the busiest time of year to be buying a home. That's when you're going to see the most competition. And sellers that time of year, that's the best time of year to sell because there's less sellers that want to sell. But buyers, you're competing against more people, so therefore the price is more inflated because you're more likely to deal with multiple offer situations, which then means you have to go over list price and be more competitive to get your offer accepted. That's why the price is always higher in the June, July, and August months, because those were negotiated when there was more buyer demand. And then the rest of the year, like this blue line's probably going to be hovering right above the purple line the rest of the year. So that's why prices are always highest in the summer months, typically. Well, that does it for this quick little Massachusetts market update. So we talked about the homes listed per week. We talked about the weekly inventory of condos, single families, and multifamilies. We talked about the homes sold per week. And we talked about the average price per month. Now, maybe I'll do this like once a month, just kind of like a market overview for Massachusetts. That's the Massachusetts market. Thank you so much for tuning in. Pretty quick video, simple to the point. I will see you on the next video.